Hello. Welcome, everybody. So, as per usual, getting started here, please let me know if the video and the audio is good. Ended up not being able to use Google Hangouts after all, even after I did my test, because Google Hangouts does not let you change the thumbnail. And I did not just want my fucking channel art as the thumbnail. Otherwise, nobody would know what the hell they were going to get ready to click on. So good. It's good. It's good. Sounds good. All right, cool. I did change the settings to use this mic and not that one. So I think we'll be fine. The only issue we had last time was the crackling audio from that webcam for whatever reason. So please let me know at any time during the stream if the video or the audio starts to fuck up. I've already got Halloween queued up. So if you guys are watching along, which hopefully most, if not all of you are, go ahead and get it queued up. I've basically got on the screen where it says watch now. So as soon as we get ready to start, I'll probably give another 10 minutes, maybe less, for everybody to come in here. Mike makes the voice sexy. Hey, I don't need any help with that. Finally it starts. Been waiting all the time on YouTube. Yeah, I had to put the little one to bed, so I'm hoping she's gonna stay in bed. She likes to play with me a little bit here and there, and like crack open the door. I can hear her footsteps and stuff like that. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Thanks a lot, man. Power Up Productions coming in with a super chat right off the bat. I work third shift listening to this. Awesome. Glad I can get you through that horrible shift that third shift is. Cody, you are a god. Well, thank you. Not quite, but pushed my boyfriend off Warcraft for this. Hell yes. Priorities, bitch. Warcraft can wait. R.I.P. Stan Lee, absolutely. All right, guys. So now that there's 100 of you watching, I'm gonna go ahead and say, like I do at the beginning of all of these live commentaries, this is indeed a live commentary. So my main goal is to watch the film and talk with all of you about the film while the film is playing. So if you have questions about Halloween 2018 or Halloween franchise, by all means chime in with those. But try to keep your questions related to the film that we're watching. I don't want a bunch of Freddy questions or, what do you think about Jordan Peele's Us or anything like that. It's not a Q&A. I always leave about maybe 15 or 20 minutes at the end for just general Q&A, but for the most part, and I'll probably have to repeat it a couple times as people trickle in throughout the movie. Just try to keep the discussion related to Halloween so that this doesn't end up just being a random video while I'm watching Halloween 2018. So the reason I decided to do this, aside from the fact that it's an obvious pick for my channel, why would I not do a Halloween 2018 commentary? But the reason I'm doing it tonight, and actually I'm going to end up buying this movie twice so that I could do this tonight, because I bought the digital copy here on Amazon, and I've already pre-ordered the Blu-ray because I'm a physical media guy. I don't buy digital copies for things unless it's something that I know is never coming to Blu-ray, like a really obscure movie that maybe Amazon has. But the reason I decided to do this is because obviously you guys know all the drama that went on back when Halloween 2018 came out, and I dropped my review. I got to see it a couple days early, and I dropped my review as everybody was walking out of the theaters on the first showing. So if the first showing was 7 o'clock that Thursday, I dropped my review at 9 sharp. So everybody walking out of the theater for the first time in America got to see my review before most people. And I gave it a 3.4 out of 5, which is still a good review. I had major issues with the film, even though there's things that I really like about it. And people went fucking apeshit. Mostly people that hadn't seen the movie yet, you could tell. But I'm hoping what this commentary is going to do. So I did the spoiler-free review. I did the spoiler review. I did the 31 on 31st where I talked about Halloween 2018 briefly. I did the Halloween ranking of the films where I talked about it again briefly. So people who are fans of my channel should know pretty closely what my thoughts on this film are. Where's your bag, Cody? So for anybody that doesn't know that joke, I posted a picture on Killer Flicks and on Twitter earlier where we went to Carrabba's for lunch, and I took the paper bag and I cut out the eyes and I put kind of like a shame thing, like I was ashamed to show my face. I gave Halloween a 3.4, but yeah, it's in the trash because my youngest kept playing with it. I didn't want her putting a bag on her head or even thinking to put bags on her head. So Anyway, the reason I wanted to do this commentary was because even after I've done all these videos talking briefly and talking at length about Halloween, even today when I put the poll up saying, hey, do you guys want a Halloween 2018 commentary or do you want me to just focus on some more reviews? And it was like 70-30. And the people that were saying yes and saying no, the at least 2 or 3 comments were saying, yeah, because I'd love to hear you bash it, or I'd love to hear you tear it apart, or no, because I know you despised it. And still, it just blows my mind that that misconception is out there that I despised, hated, or didn't like this movie. I do like Halloween 2018. I just don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's the best Halloween movie in the franchise. I don't think it's the second best. I don't even think it's the best horror movie this year. It might not even make my top 5. But I thought the best way, aside from just being fun and being able to hang out with all of you guys, is buy Holly a ring. We're gonna get that trending by the end of the night. But the reason I thought that it would be a good idea is that now I can go through the film with all of you, every single scene, and I could talk about all the things that I love, all the things that I like, and all the things that I really, really despise that they did in this movie. And hopefully it'll have a good tone throughout it. It's not going to be a rant. It's not going to be, I highly doubt watching it this time is going to change my mind about the film. But I think that would be fun to kind of go through, and I can actually show how much I really do like this movie, despite there being major things that I dislike about it. So we're at 10:11 p.m. now, so I'm going to give about another 3.5, 4 minutes to 10:15 before I hit the play button. So hello to everybody coming in. We got 160 watching now. Are they already shooting the sequel? I wouldn't be surprised if they're already signing the papers. They're not shooting it. But that's another thing I'm worried about too, is now that this is in the Blumhouse machine, is this going to be another Paranormal Activity? Is this going to be another Saw where they just start cranking out sequels over and over and over again because they know that it's going to make money? So it worries me that this is going to turn into another Halloween 4 to Halloween 5 situation where they make big success with Halloween 4, rejuvenate the franchise, and then all of a sudden they just make the quick, easy sequel. They're already talking about not bringing David Gordon Green or Danny McBride back, so it's just going to be whoever the hell's free that weekend at Blumhouse. It just feels like they're lining themselves up to make the same mistakes of the past. And Halloween H2O to Halloween Resurrection, same situation. Big success. All right, let's shit out another sequel while the iron is hot. So I'm hoping they can learn from this movie and see all the things that they did phenomenally, and then see all the things that a lot of people are really upset about that they did in this movie, and learn from that and make an even better movie in at least 2 years. I don't want to see a Halloween movie until 2020 at least. Is there any ETA on Patreon reviews? Yes. January, basically the whole month, and probably a good part of February too, is going to be all Patreon reviews. I planned on doing them a lot in December, but then December started hitting with Christmas and Christmas themed movies and the end of the year lists and everything. So it was just a bad setup on my part. But January, there's not really anything coming out aside from Glass. February, there's not a whole lot coming out aside from Happy Death Day to You. I think there might be one other movie I'm missing, but there's not a whole lot. I'm not going to be doing the stop dodging the hashtags. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of franchise reviews or anything like that until I get my Patreon stuff out. So all of January and however long I need in February is going to be dedicated to Patreon reviews. So look forward to that. I've already got a couple of them recorded. I already have a few of them where I've watched the films. Most of them are not movies that I haven't seen before anyway, but I've already watched them and got my mind fresh and everything. So it's not going to take me too long, especially with this beautiful new laptop that is just so fucking awesome for making my work so much easier. I feel like I've been handcuffed for 2 years and I finally got the damn chains taken off. I have no idea why I kept that shitty laptop I've been working with for the past 2 years so long. But it's going to be a lot easier for me to get reviews out. I could probably do 2 or 3 a week. So look forward to that. I don't see any hashtags, Holly, so I don't know what I'm missing. Stop dodging the hashtags. Well, they're gone. So post them again. But let's see, 10:14. So getting ready to start here. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to grab my drink. I'm coming back, I promise. All right. Hashtag buy Holly a ring. Get Holly a ring. Yep. I'm gonna have to live stream my proposal after she's talking so much shit. Like the shirt. Thank you. I love this shirt. Fright rags. I never really liked fright rags because of their prices, but those motherfuckers got their claws in me now because they got a lot of money from me for Halloween shirts, and then I bought a couple Pet Cemetery shirts and some other stuff. So I'm a fright rags fan. I do think they're expensive, but 10:15. All right. Here we go, everybody. So if you're watching at home, get ready because I'm getting ready to click the play button. In the event that my daughter wakes up and comes out here, I will have to step away for just a minute to put her back in bed. But just a warning, if I do walk away suddenly or whatever, if suddenly there's crying, that's why. So here we go. Turn this bitch on. Watch now. Here we go. Halloween 2018. Make sure I got this bitch. All right. All right, good. Sound's turned off. Why is... Now, of course, the internet's going to get real fucking slow on me. Hang on, guys. Don't start it yet. I might have to change some gears here. What the fuck is going on here? It might be all right. I'll let it go. Fuck it. So yeah, it's going. I hear some crackling on my end, so it makes me think that the internet signal going through the Xbox isn't so strong, which sucks because it's very annoying. But all right, I think it's good. Cool. All right, so here we are in the title sequence. Not much to say other than, hey, orange letters. Cody Leach and Drum Dums are the best. Thank you. I was really surprised that they did not start this movie with like a flashback tie to the original Halloween. Like, I'm surprised that we didn't get kind of like how they did with Halloween 2, where they show like the last 2-3 minutes of the original Halloween and then they kind of pick it up here. I'm surprised they didn't do that. Sartain, motherfucker, you fucking just move. Sorry. I do like the different approach though to the opening of this. It's not your typical Halloween opening. Rum and Coke. Nope, just Coke. Best movie review bromance ever, Cody and Lee. But yeah, directing was certainly not one of the problems with this movie. Like the way that it's shot, it's probably alongside John Carpenter's original, it's the best directed movie of the franchise. You could tell that David Gordon Green is a filmmaker. And that was one of the big things that I was really having a lot of faith with this movie for, was because of David Gordon Green, because I knew some of the movies like Joe. You know, not a lot of people saw Joe. People hear David Gordon Green, they think Pineapple Express and stuff, but I knew that the guy was a quality filmmaker. And it never hurts to add quality filmmaking to your movie. Let me turn the volume down on my headset. It's a little loud. Oh, shit. Nope, go back. All right. Fucking Sartain. And I do like the angle with having these podcasters come in to kind of investigate Michael. Although I don't see anybody that's running a podcast having enough pull to get the shit that they get here. It's a podcast, for Christ's sakes. But you know what I mean? Agree, Holly. Wear your mask. I'm not wearing a fucking mask. You are insane. But I do like them as characters. I do like the actors that are playing them. It is an interesting angle. The only thing that it brings to mind, it's a little weird, is you assume that they're from overseas. It's an assumption, but you assume they're from overseas. I don't know if they say it in the movie or not. And the case of the Michael Myers killing the 3 people in the first movie has been so prolific that it's gone overseas and, inspired them to come to America to get whatever they needed to get to the mask from the DA, which would never happen, to get the permission to go in and actually confront Michael. Like a dude that just kills 3 people, escapes and killed his sister as a kid and then stayed in the mental institution, broke out, killed 3 more people and went back to the mental institution. It doesn't feel like there's enough there that would just garner that much interest. Of course, we're interested because we know him from the whole franchise, but just going off of just this being a direct sequel, that is kind of a weird element there. I think they could have developed a little better, but that's a nitpick. There's James Jude, JJC. Definitely the best Myers since Nick Castle. And I've said it before, if he gets another chance, which I hope he does, to play Michael again, he might overtake Nick Castle for me. I thought that dude was awesome. Holly Jones, let's spend the night at an old insane asylum and you can live propose to me there. Just make sure I have my nails done. What's the good in that? So I live propose to you and then we get killed on camera. What's your end game here, woman? I like your creativity, though. Thinking outside the box. Motherfucker walked right up to the yellow line. That close. Hello, Michael. It's good to see you again. I borrowed something from my friend at the Attorney General's office. She just let me have this mask because the plot required it. There's the scene. Now, here's the question. Does he like cock his head because he really feels like some kind of a pull or a presence from the mask? Or does he cock his head and he's like, motherfucker, they really gave you my mask? God damn it. Where's the justice? A lot of people had issues with the fact that they show portions of Michael Myers' face. I didn't have any issue with that at all because they show you in the original John Carpenter's Halloween his face for, 2-3 seconds. They never really give you like a full close up of his face. It's just obscured pieces here and there. It didn't bother me at all. You can feel it. Can you feel it, everybody? All 202 of you. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Woo, Figaro. Say something, motherfucker! And here we got our title sequence with the very on the nose breathing the life back into the pumpkin. I was on the middle on this, you know what I mean? It didn't. Some people thought it was brilliant. Some people thought it was like really fucking on the nose and unnecessary. I was just kind of like, huh, okay, I see what you did there. I'm gonna take one of these out because it's crackling and it is driving me nuts. I have no idea how to make it stop. I had the same problem when I tried to watch Blade Runner 2049 before it came out on Blu-ray. It just, for whatever fucking reason, and that's one of the reasons why I will never be an advocate for buying digital copies, is that I'm trying to watch this movie and like every 10 seconds there's like a pause, crackle, and my internet is going fucking strong right now. So I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but hopefully it clears out. Otherwise, I'm just going to be annoyed at the sounds in my ear, but I will not make it known to where it ruins my show. But yeah, classic intro. Gotta love it with that classic John Carpenter Halloween score. John Carpenter back to score Halloween 2018. Definitely come back with a vengeance too, because there's some damn good score in this movie. I think a lot of people's favorites, and certainly one of my favorites, is where Michael is chasing the granddaughter. I don't remember I think that it literally is the name of the song, like Michael Chase's character name. I can't remember. Allison. Michael Chase's Allison or something like that. But that was a really cool, unique 80s throwback synth heavy kind of Stranger Things-ish kind of score. So I like that. Haddonfield, Illinois. So now having witnessed Michael not say a goddamn word, let's go fuck with Jamie Lee Curtis for a little bit. Ordered my copy of Halloween 2018 online. I should get it a day after my birthday. My birthday is coming up very soon too. Mine is the 12th, so mine will be a couple days after my birthday, but happy early birthday. Ooh, what do you think of Pumpkinhead? I love Pumpkinhead. I'll do a review for that eventually. And I'm looking forward to the remake because they're talking about using practical effects. It's another funny scene too where they're going in and they already know like they have to get cash to coerce her to let them in. Hello, we're looking for Laurie Strode. We talk into a microphone and put our episodes on SoundCloud. We have 15 followers. 13 are pending, but we have 15 followers. And we would like to pay you to come in and stir your shit up for the entertainment of our 15 followers. $3,000. God damn. How does a podcast group get $3,000 just to blow on one little interview? Yeah, hi, I'm Cody Leach from YouTube. I do a lot of movie reviews. I recently reviewed your franchise. I'd like to come in and talk with you about your fucked up brother and how he's fucked you up. And I have absolutely no money whatsoever, but I promise it'll be entertaining. She got security cameras and big ass spotlights and all kinds of crazy shit. It's a pretty cool piece of land and a pretty cool house. I never really thought about that the first couple times I watched it, but for her making it a little death trap, she could have really made it a nice house at the same time. I like how they made Jamie Lee Curtis look in this movie. You know, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis has aged great, but just the way that they kind of have her hair and everything, it definitely looks like kind of her style the way it was back in 1978. And it's not like H2O, where I mean that made sense too, but you know, it's not like a copy of that as far as her look. Her look actually kind of ties a lot to 1978. It's a small little detail, but I do like it. I like how she kind of thinks as of Michael Myers as the boogeyman, especially kind of tying in from that last scene in the original where she asks, "Is that the boogeyman?" And Loomis says, "I do believe it was." I like that. There's a scene later on where she refers to him as the Shape. It's a very small little detail, and we'll get to it. Um, but I don't like that. Seems very meta. Like nobody calls Michael Myers the Shape except for us movie viewers. But I like the boogeyman thing. How she's like, you don't think the boogeyman's real? You should. And that just shows how much to her how much Michael Myers really is like this otherworldly presence, like how he's not just a killer, there's something supernatural about him. And that was that perfect mix that John Carpenter nailed in 1978, was having it to where you never really knew, is this a real fucking guy or is this a supernatural presence? And there's elements of both. So just that one encounter that she has with him back then, and she's totally on board with that. I like that little detail. And now they start fucking with her about her family and like how you lost custody of your daughter, or was about to lose custody. So I don't understand why they brought that up. That's one of those that's one of those things where it's like you could tell they're a couple, boyfriend and girlfriend, where they would have left and been like, "God damn it, bitch, why the fuck did you talk about her daughter? We almost had her. God damn it." And they really make a big deal out of the fact that Michael Myers doesn't speak in this. Like it's some huge mystery. Like, why does this motherfucker not talk? And then Dr. Sartain even says he has the ability to talk. He just chooses not to. I almost feel like that's um almost like a dig at Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like trying to make everybody think like, are you really gonna make Michael talk in this? Is that gonna be the third act reveal? He's gonna say something to Laurie. Oh my god, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But yeah, they talk about that a lot in this. Oh god, here we go. Now we're time for ranting, people. Motherfucker, we're here, the peanut butter and the penis guy. Willis Greedia. I see him smiling about something. What you talking about, CP? Dragging my video into the gutter. 3.4 indeed. Shout out to CP. In my thumbnail, you'll see there's a shirt that has 3.4 and then the splat symbol from the Rotten Tomatoes. CP sent that to me. Like 3.4. Must be horrible. Oh my god, that fucking line. The first time I saw this movie in theaters, when he said I got peanut butter on my penis, I convinced myself that he said peanut butter on my pants because he said, I was like, did he just say peanut butter on my penis? And it was obscure just enough where I was like, no, they couldn't have put a line that fucking horrible in this movie. So I convinced myself it was peanut butter on my pants. Later on that week, when I saw it the second time and I knew for a fact that he said penis, I was like, to be fair, there's multiple writers on this film, but I have a very hard time believing that that was not a Danny McBride line. So that lines like that stand out in this movie like a sore fucking thumb. Like it flows, and then you get a line like that, and it's like driving on the highway, and then somebody in front of you puts the brake lights on. You have to like slam on the brakes. That's what those lines do to me in my enjoyment of this movie. Some people think it's not a big deal. It's one line. Who cares? It's 1 second of a 2-hour movie. To me, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like the movie's going good. Peanut butter on my penis. I really like the daughter character, or the granddaughter character. Is it Allison? I'm pretty sure it's Allison. I feel like I need to fact check myself. Or if you're watching at home, tell me if that was her name. I missed it because I'm talking, but is her name Allison? But I really like this character. I like her relationship with Jamie Lee Curtis, or lack thereof. I like that kind of that dynamic of trying to go through her mother, but her mother has that animosity towards her, but she has that longing for a relationship. I like the actress. When I watched this, even before I saw the movie, I assumed this character was going to be kind of tailored to be our Laurie Strode going forward. So when I saw the movie, I had a lot of focus on her. I was like, okay, is she going to be good or is she going to be terrible? Because she's more than likely going to be our final girl for the next movie or so. And not a lot of people talked about it in their reviews, but I really liked her. I thought she was a really good character. I think the actress is good. Her friends are decent. And I like this dude's line here where he's like, hey, by today's standards, the motherfucker killed 3 people. Is it that big of a deal? I mean, we got, I feel like that was one of those political statements they're kind of throwing in there. Like, oh, hey, look at all the gun violence nowadays. We're just talking about a guy with a knife that stabbed 3 people. What are you people obsessed with? But it also kind of goes to my point earlier, but what's the obsession with these podcasters? Now you got this motherfucker, this boyfriend character that they're building up for the next movie. Where did my video go? There it is. My screen went black for a second. But this boyfriend character, I don't like. We'll talk about it more as the movie goes along, but like they have this scene setting up the dinner scene, saying, hey, we're going to have this dinner with my family. You're going to meet them finally. Then you get to the dinner scene, and the dinner scene is just a setup scene for the dance. Hey, everybody, we're going to have this dance, and we're going to have these 2 costumes where we're not going to tell you exactly what they are, but it's something to do with Bonnie and Clyde. Then you get to the dance, and the dance between scene with those 2 is just a setup for the reason why she walks away without her phone, because he throws it in what CP calls mayo chup. So that's one of the issues I have with the writing in this film, is that there's characters and certain plot points put in here specifically just to set up little minute details later on. You could have taken this boyfriend out of the movie completely and invented a quick little 2-second reason why she doesn't have her cell phone. She dropped it. It fucking broke. The signal went out, something. And the movie would be exactly the same without this boyfriend. And there's a few characters in this movie like that. You could literally do like the Claw in Toy Story and take that motherfucker out of the movie, and the movie would be exactly the same with a 5-minute rewrite. I love this callback right here, where she looks outside and sees Laurie Strode standing across the street. It's a callback to when Laurie Strode looked outside and saw Michael Myers watching her. The callbacks in this movie are awesome. And I'm usually somebody that gets annoyed at callbacks when they try to do it too much, when it feels like the whole movie's fan service. The whole movie is, hey guys, wink, wink. Remember that one scene? This movie does them really good. This one, the best one, which is in the third act, which I'll save for that one. But there's at least 3 or 4 times in this movie where they have a clever little callback like that, that just, it's a stylistic connective tissue that I love. And here you have Allison, where she's telling Laurie Strode, she's like, it's been 40 years. Why can't you get over it? And that's another small gripe that I have with the movie as far as the writing. I know the whole point of this is to make her character, Laurie Strode, like her life obsession is this interaction she had with Michael Myers back in 1978. Like, it consumes her life. She's prepared her entire life for this interaction, or this ultimate confrontation this movie is supposed to be. But it is very far-fetched. Like, okay, a couple of your friends got stabbed. You got chased for an hour. Would that really consume your life, like every waking moment of your life for 40 years? I've never had anything like that happen to me. I've had people argue, say, hey, man, traumatic experiences, and possibly. For me, as a movie viewer, it is very far-fetched that you have a daughter, you have a granddaughter, you've had a couple marriages, you have you have all these things that people go through in their lives. But the only thing that sticks in your fucking head all throughout the day is Michael Myers. When's Michael Myers coming out? Michael Myers is coming. I need to prepare for Michael Myers. Michael Myers, a little far-fetched. Oh, in this scene here, listen to this tape. The way that they incorporated Donald Pleasance's voice, or somebody doing a Donald Pleasance impression, saying you need to kill him, like just fucking kill him, inject him, light his ass on fire. Like, I love this. Make sure his life is extinguished. Like, it's perfect. Completely incinerate the body. See, like, and it needs to die. The way they distort the voice there, like that is a perfect utilization of Loomis. Just having that last little thing, like his small little contribution to the interview after the night of 1978, him saying it needs to die. You need to fucking kill him and then incinerate the body. Make sure his vitals are gone. Like, do not take it for granted that he's not breathing or not moving. Like, that is just perfect. And it gives you chills. You know what I mean? That's, again, like I said, this movie has brilliant things in it, and that is one of them. Such a small little detail, but it's so awesome. Now you got Dr. Fuckface here saying, I need to follow my patient. I need to follow him here. I take care of him. I need to follow him in this bush. Now, here's one of the things that I said in my spoiler review. So you have this scene here where Laurie somehow knows. I don't know where she gets this information. I don't know if they just put this shit out into the fucking internet somewhere. Hey, we're transferring prisoner A, B, and C tonight. But she knows that they're transferring Michael Myers. So she's getting drunk and she's anticipating killing Michael Myers, like storming this bus or something. Why? And I've heard rumors that they had this in an original cut, but test audiences didn't like it or something like that. Why? The daughter. Oh yeah, I agree, Holly. I totally agree. I'm not a Judy Greer fan, but why would you not have it to where Laurie Strode comes out of nowhere causes the bus to crash so that she can kill Michael at all costs. And she's the one that sets him loose by accident. Like it's to me, like people say it would have made her character unlikable. Her character's already unlikable in this movie, the way they portray her. To me, that would have added a lot of drama and a lot of tragedy to her character, especially with how obsessive that they portray her in this. If she was just like, all right, I don't care what the fuck happens. I'm taking this motherfucker out. If I get killed in the process, if I go to jail, it doesn't matter. He's dying. And she accidentally lets him out. Like, she causes the bus crash. You have a scene just like the one we're about to see where the guy's out there with the flashlight and the fucking shotgun, the kid, and it's Laurie Strode trying to find Michael. Like, where is he at? He's not in the van, and he gets in her car and leaves. And now now he's loose. And then the rest of the movie, now she's responsible somewhat for everything that this fucking guy does. And now it's that much more of a motivation for her to stop him. And you could have had a self-sacrifice at the end, which kind of redeemed it. Just to me, small little things like this, I feel like should have been in the writer's room. Let me in the writer's room, bitches. But yeah, like Holly mentioned earlier, the daughter, Judy Greer. Judy Greer is an actress that I never really cared for very much, and I feel like she was horribly miscast in this movie. This is not the type of role that she does do well on the few movies that she has done well with. She does well in like comedies where she's being kind of the bitch. This dramatic role where she has all of this baggage doesn't fit her acting ability. And there's quite a few times in the movie where it shows. But here's the scene. I saw him. I saw the shape. Again, nitpick. Small little detail. But when the fuck has Michael Myers ever been referred to as the shape by a character in the movie? Maybe I'm missing that. I didn't grow up watching Michael Myers or Halloween movies to the degree I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, so maybe I'm wrong. But the shape to me has always been something that they refer to him as in the end credits. The shape is something that we call him as fans. Why Laurie Strode would call Michael Myers the shape, I've never understood that. Like it kind of went in one ear and out the other when I first saw the movie, but having now seen it 3 times, this scene, I'm like, why the boogeyman? I'm totally cool with that. We've had people call him the boogeyman. We've had multiple characters in 1978 call him the boogeyman, and he is the boogeyman for all intents and purposes. Why she would call him the shape? Writing hiccup. But again, just the interaction between the granddaughter and Laurie Strode, I really like it. Oh my God. This scene here, people. Tell me Judy Greer does not sound like she's reading off cue cards through this scene. I'm not going to say a word. Just listen. All right, that's enough. Lee actually disagrees with me. I mean, Lee really loves this movie, but just as a counterpoint, Lee thinks that this is her making an acting choice to seem like emotionally shut off and emotionally fucked up from all the things that she's describing. I think it's just a fucking horrible performance by Judy Greer. I had nightmares about the basement. I learned to fight. I learned to shoot. That is the entire scene to me. And why the fuck we can squeeze in a flashback sequence that's is horribly executed, in my opinion, like this in this film, but we can't afford to do a flashback sequence which lets us know what the fuck happened at the end of 1978. Just a 2-minute flashback sequence that shows after he got up, what the fuck happened. He just walked into a bus. He got shot again by Loomis. The cops came right after the end. You could have had something there, but no, we can afford to do a flashback showing Judy Greer with this horrible fucking dialogue. And then this fucking say, what is the point of this dialogue here with this kid? I just want to be a dancer, Dad. You're not letting me do my thing, Dad. But the cinematography in this scene where all the prisoners are walking around, again, great direction and also a great callback, because in 1978, when you have that scene in the rain, when the lightning would strike and you'd see all the white coats of everybody that's escaped Smith's Grove. And then Dr. Loomis gets out to find out what the fuck happened, and then Michael Myers escapes. It's a callback, and it's cool direction for this scene. And the way that these people are just walking around bumping onto his car, that's some scary shit. And see, now picture this scene right here. Picture this scene with all the crazies walking around and all the fucking white coats, and from a distance, you don't know which one is Michael Myers if he was walking around. And picture the way that this kid is exploring this scene right now, but with Laurie Strode after she's caused the crash, where she's got her rifle or her pistol and she's trying to see which one is Michael. She's scared. She doesn't quite know what she's doing. And Michael's just hiding, just waiting. You know what I mean? Michael knows what the fuck is going on, whether or not Laurie knows that he knows. And then, you know, she finds Sartain with a bullet in him, like he's about to find, or actually he shoots him, but she finds Sartain, and maybe she accidentally shoots Sartain. And this should have been the end of Sartain right here. He's escaped. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck he says here, we'll find out in a second, but that should have been the end of that character. Just him reinforcing, like, even though all these fucking crazy people are out now and people have died, the only thing that he's worried about, he's out. The evil is out. Crazy Crab, yeah, the little kid. I gave this movie a good review, but so many stupid scenes. And that's my thing. That's my thing with this movie, is there is so much that it does so damn good that when you get something that's just so off the wall stupid like that, and it's riddled throughout the whole movie, it stands out so much to me. They might be minute to some people, and they're like, well, dude, they did so much good. I can forgive little stuff like that. When I see it, it annoys me because they've done so much awesome. There's no excuse for stuff like that being in this movie. But yeah, so Sartain took a bullet. Now that's, whew. This is another thing. This movie had the balls to kill a kid. Michael Myers just smacked that motherfucker against the windshield and then broke his neck. And as taboo as that is in a horror movie, and as much of a sign on how brutal the movie and Michael Myers is going to be in this, it's a brilliant setup for a small little minute scene later on in the film when he's having that long one take. We'll get to it. But because that happened, there's a scene later on in this movie where my heart stopped at what might happen. Rosie Garcia, yes, I am watching the movie right now. It's available on digital, so I bought it on Amazon, and we're all watching it together. Join us. We're right at the point where Will Patton's character is checking out the bus crash, if you want to join in. I love Will Patton too. You know, this is a character actor that pretty much any movie that I've seen him in, he is elevated somehow. Remember the Titans is probably my favorite, but he's in this. He's great in The Punisher, a movie that most people hate, The Postman. I think is a pretty good movie, and I think he's really good in it. I was really excited when I heard that he was going to be in this. Woo, they fucked that guy's neck up. They did a great job with the kills, the practical effects and the kills in this movie, because a lot of them. Hang on, what's Sartain say? I've been shot. My patient. See right here. I've been shot. Did he escape? If that was the end of the character, I think that Sartain would have been a damn good character for this movie, just to be that kind of person who's still carrying on. Fucking Loomis. Why did I forget that name? Carrying on Loomis's thing, and just that one point there of showing how scared he is of the fact that Michael's escaped. I think that would have been enough. And I forgot what I was talking about before that scene. So now we got the visiting of the grave of Judith Myers. I like how they describe the murder in this. Yeah, me and Holly called this guy's weirdness from the beginning. Sartain. We're like, this motherfucker's got something going on. But I like because it was simplicity in 1978. It's just scenes of this, but they tell you like what he actually hit, what he stabbed, what he cut open, and it's graphic. And it kind of makes the scene a little bit more morbid than it actually is visually. And now you get this where again Michael's just kind of standing off in the distance, chilling. Dave McCrae brought a great point up in his review, which I honestly didn't think of, but he thought that it would have been a great addition to this movie to have Laurie visit the graves of her friends that died in the 1978 film. Some people disagree and say that, we get it. We know that she's hurt. But to me, if you're going to go that far, if you're going to go to 11 with her crazy and how much this night consumes her, I think it would have been a nice touch to show her kind of visiting the graves of her friends. Like their deaths still kind of haunt her to a degree. I think that would have been a nice touch. So shout out to Dave McCrae. And now you got this character here. I forget. There was a movie. I don't want to sound racist, so I'm trying to think of the movie that the line came from. There's a movie where, and it's another black character that says it, but like the Black in the Hat. So I almost said the Black in the Hat, but no, the sheriff here. He doesn't belong in the movie. I mean, look right here. He's laughing. He's laughing at the thought that we even need to alarm this town that Michael Myers is out. All that does is demystify or like kind of degrade the legend of Michael Myers. Like everybody else in this town, you say Michael Myers, they're like, fuck, that guy's out. You get the sheriff and he's like, what are we going to do? Cancel Halloween. You should have made Will Patton's character the sheriff. And again, another character, this sheriff character with the big hat, the Toy Story claw motherfucker, get that guy out of the movie. The movie is exactly the same, if not better. And I love the way that they filmed Resurrection Church. There's a little wink. There is a callback, an Easter egg, or a wink to every single film in the Halloween franchise in this movie. Go watch my spoiler review, and I nail every single one of them. But I like the way that they directed this, where Michael just kind of pulled into the side of them, and he's off doing his thing, and it just kind of shows him in the distance fucking people up. Right, like right here where he's punching the guy. The movie does a great job at having brutality, but not. That's what I was talking about before I went off on my Sartain thing at the bus. This movie does a great job at showing the brutality of the kills without showing the kills. Like a lot of the kills in this movie are cutaways, or you see the aftermath later, and it's more effective that way. Like when you saw the guy's fucking necks all twisted out. There's a kill later on in the movie where a guy's stapled to the wall with a fucking knife, and it's cooler and it's more effective and creepy and brutal in a way when you don't see it and you see the aftermath. You're like, oh fuck, that had to hurt. Now we get the bathroom scene. One more shout out to my brother from another mother, Lee from Drum Dums. This is the scene that he lost his shit about. He claims that this scene like literally physically shook him in the movie theater. And it didn't quite hit me that way, probably because it was in the trailer. But it is a very brutal scene, the way that he just bashes the dude's head in and slowly kind of torments her. It probably doesn't help, too, that there's an obvious callback to H2O with the setup of this scene. But it is a good scene. It didn't hit me the way it hit Lee, but it is a good scene, especially with the teeth. But again, it was in the trailer. Fucking trailers. Holly Jones, they didn't have the balls to kill Laurie. Yeah, we'll get there. Oh, when I get to the ending, people, you're going to hear a rant. Lil Malik comes in with a super chat. In my opinion, H2O, 2, 4, and 1 were better. I agree 100%. I'm one of the 1% of humans that like this movie, but I would throw Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 on that list as well. And you basically, word for word, my opinion. Fucking dude's jaws ripped open. See, we don't need to see the jaw being ripped open. You see the aftermath and you go, oh, fuck. Michael ain't playing. I'm enjoying this, guys. I'm enjoying watching this movie and chatting with all of you. This is fun. because I've had a lot to say about this movie. Most commentaries I struggle and points of the movie, I'm like, fuck, what do I need to talk about? And then I'll start looking at the chat for inspiration. I don't think I've shut the fuck up for 1 second in this movie so far. But yeah, you got the teeth, and now, just kill me. I'm not crawling on a truck stop bathroom. Bashed her head on the toilet. I wonder if that was improv or accidental and they just kept it in the movie. And you got that great John Carpenter score coming in behind, too. And this actress does do a damn good job at showing fear. Not horror actors and actresses don't get enough credit. It might be they might not have big parts in the movie, but convincing that you're scared for long periods of time, that's hard work. They're fucking up Aaron. It's the sounds. It's the sound effects of his skull cracking against the fucking wall. And what is pretty brutal about the way that they direct this scene is that, I mean, he's caved this guy's skull in, basically. And now, while he's dying, while he's in excruciating pain, he might not even be able to see that well, he has to watch his girlfriend get fucking choked out. And now you have one of my favorite shots, if not my favorite shot of the whole movie, when he finds the mask and he just kind of looks at it like it's an old friend. And then when he puts it on, and then you see the trunk close, and it's like, now you have James Hughes Courtney's Michael Myers bitches. Right here. God damn, I love that mask. That is my favorite mask of the franchise. It was right there, and I love that shot. It's a very close race between this and the original Shatner mask from 1978, but something about that tattered, decrepit look that they have in this. They didn't go full blown like Rob Zombie did. Just a couple little details of it being aged a little bit. And the way that the hair is, for some reason, for me, it's scarier. It's a little bit scarier, a little bit more effective than the original Shatner mask, which I love. So that's one thing I will give this movie over the original, is I fucking love that mask. He's complete after he gets his mask back. Yes, he is. You complete me. Now you got this fucking panic room here. It's not a panic room. It's a cage. This scene here, this is another one. You're going to hear me rant on this one. So Judy Greer and Fuckface are back home from a nice little afternoon grocery shopping. It's so bad. Here we go. Oh my God, my door's open. What's going to happen? Let's not act alarmed at all. Let's just go put the groceries down. We'll figure it out later. Oh, I can't wait. Here we go. And here comes Ray. Bam, you're dead. This is the scene that solidifies how much I dislike Ray as a character. I can take care of my family. I know jujitsu. Put down that gun, Lori. Put down the gun. Now, something that... Hang on. I'll go in it because I got a line coming up here from Judy Greer that I have to bitch about. The world is not a dark and evil place. It's full of love and understanding. That line can go fuck itself. That was the first time I saw this movie. That was the big moment where I was like, did they really just fucking say that in this movie? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, for how the scene right previous to it, that bathroom kill, brilliant. 2 minutes later, the world is not all, darkness and evil. It's sunshine and rainbows. Why? How the fuck did this movie go through however many passes on a script, shooting however many takes of it, through the editing room, however many passes on this film, through test screenings, through the studio screenings, and nobody thought to think that line's pretty fucking stupid. Drives me nuts. But anyway, I said something in my review that Dave McCrae, I believe he also said in his review, or nonetheless we agreed wholeheartedly on. And I think Brian Lomax agreed too. I could be wrong. I know for a fact Dave agreed. The character of Ray, again, he's one of those characters that you can do the Toy Story claw and pull him out of the movie. The movie's exactly the same, but he is the one character in this movie that I will say, if you remove him, the movie is instantly better. And the character, Judy Greer's character, is instantly better because you remove, suddenly she has this trauma and this baggage that Laurie has. You remove his stupidity and his stupid shit from this movie, and now she's this single mother dealing with all this. Instantly, her character's better. And now we have one of the best sequences in the movie with one of the best pieces of the score of The Shape Has Returned, doing this long one take. They showed this in the trailer, but I avoided the fuck out of that trailer, people. Ask Holly, and she's still in the comment section, how many movies, well, she probably wasn't sitting with me in all of them, but there was at least 7 or 8 movies that I walked out of the trailers playing because I would hear the cue of music of Halloween, like, oh, fuck, and I'd get up and I'd walk out and I'd stand outside of the theater doors for 2 or 3 minutes until the trailer was done, and then I'd come back inside because I did not want any of this spoiled. They just fucked that chick up with the hammer. Again, you don't see it. You just hear it. You hear the splats, and you see the aftermath. And now he has a knife. Holly says it was too focused on the Me Too movement. Yeah, there's definitely elements of that. Here we go. The dude kills a kid earlier in the movie. And now in this scene, when he walks up to the crib and then he stops and looks at it while the baby was crying, me and Holly both, our hearts and our lungs stopped. We were like, I was scared to fucking death that he was going to do something to that baby. Brilliant. That was the most scared that I was in this entire movie, was if that baby was going to get it or not. Like when he was walking towards it, I was like, oh God, no, no, no. The movie would have been way better if he killed the baby. It shows that he really is evil incarnate. I disagree. I think that it would have been too far, and I would have hated that whole scene, and I would have really been pissed off at this movie if they went that far. Yes, it would have shown balls, and it would have shown how evil he is, but Michael also has to toe that line of human and supernatural. And if you're not in his way, if you're not a threat, he doesn't fuck with you. Otherwise, he would just slay everybody in this scene. Every single person he saw, he would walk up and slash until they shot him dead. The fact that he can walk through and strategically make decisions about who he wants to kill for whatever fucking reason he decides he wants to kill it, that's scarier than somebody that just kills everything. So I disagree with you on that. Why do I think he didn't kill the baby? Because he had no reason to. The baby was no threat to him. The same reason why the 2 kids that bumped into him was no threat to him. In 1978, when he was watching Laurie Strode and the kid ran into him, and you get that musical cue, which that was a callback to, that kid was no threat to him. Like, Michael Myers doesn't just kill everybody. He's not Leatherface. Here's another great kill. Just bam, stab. Done. But yeah, you got to toe that line. Michael Myers isn't just like this unstoppable killing machine like, Jaws. He's methodical. And you have no idea what his method to his madness is. That's what makes it scarier. Now we get this dance scene. All right. Again, I don't hate the fact that there's a dance scene in this movie that kind of further develops the high school feel and further develops the character of Allison. What I hate about this scene is what they do between her and her boyfriend. She walks away. She walks away for literally 2 minutes. And her being gone for 2 minutes, all of a sudden her boyfriend just starts fucking around with somebody. We'll get to it. Now she's talking to the one character as far as like her friends that I genuinely like is this babysitter because of her interaction with this kid. That I just like her character. She's cool. He's gonna bring that Alakazam. It's not a David Gordon Green movie until you get some weed jokes, or it's not a Danny McBride script until you get some weed jokes. I don't know, one or the other. This kid is funny, but they take him too far. There's a scene later on, which we'll get to. I keep saying that. There's a scene later on, but you talk about smoking weed while I'm sitting here cutting my nasty ass toenails. This stuff is funny. And it is a real feeling scene between a boy and his babysitter. Like I had babysitters once in a while, and when you have that understanding that like, hey, neither of us really want to be here, and you just kind of fuck around with each other and enjoy each other for whoever you are, you have little weird interactions like that, where you're talking about browser history and shit like that. So it does feel like a real scene. It is comedic. I like it. It's later on that he takes it a little too far, but a lot of people walked out of this movie saying that that little kid was like their favorite character or like was the standout moment of the movie. But I like it. I like the interaction between those two characters. I like the kid. I like his humor and the writing behind it. And I like the babysitter character. She's one of those expendable characters that I don't mind spending a little bit of time with. And you have that childlike fear, oh shit, the closet's open. You know what I mean? It's always funny when you see high school dance sequences where like dozens of people are professional dancers and they're all dancing in sync and shit like that. That shit never happens. You're bumping into each other. Everybody's got their own groove. 90% of them look fucked up. But here we go. Like she comes back in, she sees her boyfriend talking with somebody, and then gets a kiss on his lips, which is he doesn't really react to it. So obviously he's a dick. Turns around. Oh my God, my girlfriend who I was just here with saw me. Dumb motherfucker. But here's where, so they do that. And I have no idea who this leopard chick is. They don't they don't introduce her at all in the movie or like to make you think there's like this other chick, this flirtation. But now we have this thing here where now she's getting mad at him because like apparently he has this drinking problem that they never talk about, they never bring up, they never establish with this character where he becomes drunk and he becomes an asshole. It's like a habitual thing that this character does apparently that she's mad at him for because now he fucking kissed some other chick. But when did we talk about that? It's thrown in because. And now he turns into a dick. Oh, you don't want to talk? Oh, here's your phone and this fucking pudding. It's just a weird interaction between these two characters. And again, the scene in the high school between her and the locker where he's saying, hey, we got that thing later on in the diner. Yeah, I remember. And then fast forward to the diner. Hey, we got this dance later on. And now you fast forward to the dance. And now the dance, all of that time, all of that just to give her a reason not to have her phone when she leaves the dance so that Laurie Strode can't get a hold of her. I could probably rattle off 100 different ways you could get rid of her phone and not waste all that fucking time. Again, some people say it's a nitpick. I think that it's just script issues. It's the main flaw with this movie is the script, and that is the most important piece is the script. So when you have brilliance in a movie and then you have stupid shit like that within the same couple of scenes, it's very aggravating. And I'm surprised they didn't show Michael somewhere with these sheets. Like, I'm surprised they didn't show his face like somewhere, maybe like a little Easter egg where you almost had to really squint to see him. And then whenever her boyfriend comes up, like, you know, when they go in front of it, he just disappears. Cool little detail. But yeah, I remember seeing the sheets and I was thinking 1978, oh, he's going to be in the sheet somewhere. Okay, more weird humor to me. It didn't really stand out to me too much before, but so this motherfucker went out and got a tattoo on his arm of today's date to try to rope his girlfriend into taking his virginity. Like, hey, I got a tattoo. Tonight is the night. If you don't do it tonight, then I just wasted all this fucking time and all this effort, and you're a bitch if you don't do it. Very weird. I used to work with a guy at Target that looks exactly like this boyfriend, like identical. I had to do a double take when I first saw the movie. I was like, "Oh shit, make it to the big time." Not that that means anything to any of you, but it's just it is funny to me that I see him and I'm like, "Hey." There's a fucked up face in my closet. He walked by and he looked at me. And again, this is another thing, and this is not the movie's fault, but this is one of the reasons why you have to be very careful about the trailers you watch nowadays. And it's one of the reasons why I avoid a lot of trailers nowadays as best as I can. This entire sequence coming up between this babysitter and Michael Myers and this kid was shown in the trailers, where the closet door. It is the boyfriend is Tim Robbins' son, by the way. I can believe that. Cavern Terror, Zacky Poo coming in. But yeah, this is one of those things where it's a bitch because I know marketing, they have to put stuff like this in the movie to draw you in. That is their job, to sell you, to get your ass in the seat. But it sucks because you get a great sequence like this that would have been genuinely chilling in the movie, but everybody that saw the trailer saw it coming a mile away. As soon as you saw the babysitter in that bedroom 5 minutes ago, you knew that scene was coming. I would smack the bitch out of that kid if he was in my garage messing around with my fucking bike. That's just one thing I got from like I don't ride motorcycles, but well, especially when he dropped it. But that's one thing. Like with my father, especially, my dad has a Harley. He's always had a Harley for as long as I can remember. That is one thing. If there's one thing in this fucking house that you do not touch, it's Dad's bike. So that was like he didn't even like stuff in the garage being around his bike. So that's one thing I see that and I'm like, oh, I just want to smack the fuck out of that kid. But there we go. Oh shit. That is a good comedic moment. Michael Myers comes out, the kid fucking hauls ass, and that's where it should have stopped. But they keep going with the humor here. Now that's the issue I haven't even really touched on too much in this movie, is that they awkwardly place their humor. They place humor in scenes where you don't need humor. When they do place humor, they let it drag a little bit too long. And there's quite a few moments where they place humor and the humor is just bad. But this is one of those scenes where you're supposed to be on the edge of your seat about this girl's fate. Is she going to get fucked up? Is he going to kill her on screen? Is he going to just stab her? Is he going to cut her up? What's going to happen? You're supposed to be on the edge of your seat, but he's cracking jokes the whole time. So if you like the jokes, if you're laughing at the jokes, that tension's gone. That's horror movie 101, people. You use comedy in a horror film to break up the monotony, to bring a little bit of levity, to, when you got everybody on edge and you got the tension rising, you use humor in strategically placed moments to ease the tension so that you can hit them again. You don't mix the two. You know what I mean? It's like putting your dessert with your meal. It just doesn't quite fit that way. You're supposed to be like a scene like that. You would have the humor later on. You know what I mean? You would have all this tension. You would have like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then you have a moment of levity, like, oh God, okay, nothing's going to happen. It was just a really good joke. Oh shit, Michael's there. You use it like that. But there's plenty of times in this movie where they try to do all of it at once. And it's just very strange. Also love the part where Michael turns Dr. Sartain into a human jack-o'-lantern. He doesn't turn Sartain into a jack-o'-lantern. He turns one of the cops with the banh mi sandwiches into the jack-o'-lantern. If he would have turned Dr. Sartain, it would have been a lot better, though, because I fucking hate that character. Now, this is a scene that got reshot at some point, because in the trailer, they show Will Patton walk through this house, and whenever he's like looking at a door, Michael passes by him and goes outside. And that's another moment where, if it stayed in the film, where Michael, for whatever reason, strategically picks who he wants to kill and who he doesn't bother with. But I'm curious why they took that out. Because Michael Myers is still here. He's still in this house. Why they decided to remove a tense little moment like that where he's pointing at something and Michael Myers walks past and, is right fucking there. Why they would remove that from the film, I don't know. Editing. Did I just get blurry? Why'd I get blurry? There we go. I think it was right here. Like Michael Myers, he just walks past the doorway. I like the throwback with the ghost too, how they put the ghost there, and it makes you think, is Michael sitting there or is it a body? And that's a good callback. That's what I'm saying. The callbacks in this movie are pretty fucking awesome, and that's one of them. Now, here's the scene right here. This is the only scene that Nick Castle shows up in this movie for, where he's dressed as Michael with this new mask, looking into the mirror at Laurie Strode, and then he does the little head cock. A lot of people argued with me about that on my original review, saying that I had people that were actually like calling me a dumbass, like, you idiot, Nick Castle plays him in this movie. No. If you weren't aware, James Jude Courtney does play Michael Myers through the entirety of this film, with the exception of that scene. That is the one cameo by Nick Castle, the guy who played Michael Myers in the original 1978 film. And it was because he kind of created the whole head cock thing. So that was them kind of giving credit. There's this fucking tattoo. The night you got killed, bitch. Plans didn't quite work out for you. But that was the reason they kind of used that scene as his cameo. And it's a cool scene, when he's looking at her and she shoots and ends up being a mirror. It's cool. Very clever. I wish we got more interaction between these two characters too. Like, there's obviously a history to some degree between Laurie Strode and this deputy here, Will Patton. I feel like they could have developed that a little bit more. Michael walks past the door. Michael didn't walk past the door in the one that I'm watching, or that I watched the past 2 times. It's in the trailer, but it's not in the film unless you got a different cut, my man. It wasn't Nick Castle in the graveyard scene. No, I mean, I could be wrong, guys, but everything that I have read that has been somewhat official has said that that is the only scene that Nick Castle did in this movie was that head cock. That was it. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. While Sartain's talking, I don't give a fuck about that. Gotta check on my daughter. All right. False alarm. It was one of my other turds. Sounded like she was. Sometimes when she sits at the door, she'll crack it open just a little bit, and you'll kind of hear the wind kind of tap the door into the hinge. But it was these turds behind me. So okay, so I just missed it. Oh, you're the new Loomis. Again, it didn't jump out at me too much when I saw it in the theaters, but it's a very on the nose line of dialogue. But at this point, I'm still like, at least for my first watch, I'm still not really like against this character of Dr. Sartain. I don't think he's anywhere close to a replacement for Loomis, but he definitely had something weird going on with him the whole movie, and I picked up on it. I didn't know that they were going to take it as far as they did, but I was, this guy, he's got a screw loose, you know, he's got something that's a little odd. And now you got fucking friend zone times 1,000 here, walking with Allison. I didn't mind this setup with this character so much, but when we get into his dialogue here in a minute, that's where I had an issue with him. But, you know, it's a realistic scenario. We've all known or been this guy at some point where you have a guy that's friends with a girl that he actually really, really likes, and he's always in the sidelines. He always sees the asshole get her. And here you have the chance where she realizes that he's the asshole and he gets to be the knight in shining armor and walk her home. And this is my chance. This is my moment. And he fucks it up. And I feel like his line of dialogue here, Sartain's, is kind of poking at H2O a bit because, you know, there's many different ways that violence can change a victim. There's, you know, they can become scared and live in fear and become weak, or they can go the other way. And H2O, that's what she was, paralyzed by fear the whole fucking time. She was always scared, petrified that Michael Myers would come back. And so it's like this movie taking a little dig at H2O. Mikey is coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you. I like Allison's character. She's not your typical wounded lamb. I agree. That's probably why I like her. She's not like your weak ass final girl where she just happens to be the last one alive. She has some grit to her. She has a little bit of Laurie Strode in her. Back to Judy Greer and fuckface. Oh my god, why is there cops on our lawn? This is kind of a weird scene for me too, or at least not necessarily this scene, but this scenario that this creates where they can't find or they can't get a hold of Allison. For what they know, she's at the dance. They have no knowledge that she has left the dance. The dance is still going on for quite a long time if she in fact stays at the dance. So I always thought it was weird with how protective that Laurie Strode is and how obsessed with her family's safety that she is, that nobody ever left to go to the dance to pick her up. You know what I mean? They're just trying to call her and hang out until she gets there. Like there's scenes coming up later on where they keep saying, you know, we're gonna go to my house and we're gonna stay here and wait. Or, you know, nobody goes to the dance to just pick her ass up. I always thought that was weird. But here you got the guy fucking it up. Thought you were sending me signals. Nathan Oswald, you skipped my super chat from earlier. My bad, man. I was probably focused on the screen. Let me see if I can scroll up and see it. And it's too far back, my friend. I'm sorry. Thank you for your super chat. If you want to ask your question again, you don't have to pay to ask it. I'll try to keep an eye out for your name, but I missed it. This line of dialogue I hate. These girls, their beautiful bodies got my. I'm all like they were eating guacamole in sexy ways and bad. Danny McBride. I put money on it. Bad. But after this, it's cool. You look, you get that scary ass, you know. Michael's just sitting there like, kid, I don't give a fuck. You're about to die. I'll peace out, man. I'm just gonna get out of here. Like I'm totally in your lawn, and you look creepy as fuck in the shadows. But I'm too like drunk and poorly written to react to it properly. This is a scene that Emily from Emily's Adventures in Horrorland really harped on. She's like, "Fucking floodlights don't work like that." But it is a cool scene where he just kind of pops up closer to him. It is creepy, even though that's not how those lights work. But it just flash. Whoosh. There he is. God damn, kid. And Oscar isn't making it to the sequel. And it's a pretty gnarly little kill they show here. And now we get probably the best piece of music from the movie, in my opinion. I like that. My super chat from earlier was, what is more frustrating for you, the comedy or the Sartain character? The Sartain character, because the Sartain character is a major piece of the third act and a major piece of the movie and a major problem for me. The comedy, it's a sporadic issue. I like that. Bitch, shut the fuck up! Get in the house! God damn you! Fucking told your ass for 40 years! God. The character of Sartain just annoys me when I look at him now. Just the words coming out of his mouth. I didn't feel that way at first, but now that I know going in where they're going to take his character, it really aggravates me. And here you got Judy Greer that knows exactly what the fuck this little island is. Stupid ass Ray is still trying to figure out where his nuts are. And this is the funny thing, too. Obviously, at this point, Ray and Judy Greer's character, Karen, realized that Laurie Strode was right. Michael Myers is out. There have been, I'm assuming they've confirmed kills, but he's at least out stalking Haddonfield. Allison is somewhere caught in the crossfire. And she's still kind of got like this my mom is crazy attitude going on. Here we go. We're about to have the big fucking eye roll moment. You got Sartain, you got Allison, you got Will Patton all driving around trying to find Michael, and then she spots him. And I love how Will Patton approaches this. Like, this is, I really wish we could have got more time with Will Patton. That fucking look right there. Dr. Sartain looking like this. Right there. Dead giveaway. You're a crazy bitch. But I love it. Brace yourself. I'm going to run this motherfucker over. Goddamn right. I love when characters have the balls to do shit like that. Like, I ain't even fucking around with this guy. I'm going to run his ass over. I ain't going to shoot him. I ain't going to fight him. I ain't going to reason with him. Your ass is dead. You're fucking paint on my dashboard, bitch. Leave my patient alone. The blow has not been lessened by watching this 3 times and giving a couple of months of time, people. This is still a stupid fucking idea that they have here. Sartain pulls his pen out, kills one of the most interesting characters in the movie that we should have got a lot more time with. And I remember this was so out of, even though he had a weirdness about this whole scene was so out of nowhere in the theater. Like, I was kind of sitting here with this face. And they just keep taking it so far. Like, he killed Hawkins, I believe was his name. And now you have this shit where she looks and he stands up wearing the fucking mask. Stupid. And now he's going to drag that big motherfucker with one arm with a gunshot wound in his shoulder. Opens the door. Make room for my patient. And somehow he's able to get Michael's body into this fucking car. Everything about this entire 5-minute exchange here is just horrible. So he wore the mask just to pull Michael into the fucking car, and then he takes the mask off and throws it in the back seat. I understand on paper what they were going for with this character. They were going for the yin to, Dr. Loomis's yang. Where Dr. Loomis recognized the unparalleled evil of Michael Myers and he became obsessed with stopping that evil and containing that evil and made it his life's mission to not let that evil escape. Dr. Sartain took the opposite approach and he was fascinated on how this evil works. He wants to see how it ticks. He wants to see it in the field. But the execution is everything, people. And that idea was executed like horse shit. And now you got this fucking scene. This And again, I'll give credit to Emily from Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. She, which I learned through CP, described this little banh mi exchange here as them trying to do a Quentin Tarantino scene. And that is the most perfect explanation of this scene. In every single Quentin Tarantino movie you have ever seen, he has dialogue exchanges that have absolutely nothing to do with the film, absolutely nothing to do with the scene, absolutely nothing to do with the characters. Like the whole scene with, between Jules and Vincent Vega, where he's talking about all the food in France and, the Royale with cheese. That has nothing to do with the movie Pulp Fiction whatsoever. But those little random scenes that mean nothing are some of the most iconic pieces of a Quentin Tarantino film. They try to do that with this banh mi scene, where you have this random scene of two cops talking, and they go, hey, did you know that the Vietnamese sandwich of banh mi, it just depends on the bread. It doesn't really matter what's inside the sandwich. So me, your partner, got you a peanut butter and jelly banh mi sandwich. And then he shows the little fucking brownie and chocolate pudding. Oh, that's what a 4-year-old would make if he could make his lunch. That is them trying to do a Quentin Tarantino style humorous scene. And again, falling on your fucking face. In no movie would that scene be funny, and here it's just fucking awkward. And again, this whole thing with this Dr. Sartain twist. So I've harped on the point about how they have weird shit, or they have characters or unnecessary plot points in this movie that is solely in the movie just to set up a small little detail later on. Everything regarding the Sartain character and the twist and him wanting to see the evil and becoming a killer is just to give a reason why Michael ends up in Laurie's backyard. Why they are, brought to confrontation, because he's not their sibling in this one. And immediately he fucks up Sartain. You're going to tell me there's not an easier way to make Michael show up at Laurie's house? You could have easily just had him follow Allison there. Allison's running for her life, maybe going through the woods, trying to figure out where the fuck her grandmother is, and Michael follows her and she doesn't realize it. Already, that's better. Or you could have had it where Sartain gets out to check on Michael and Michael fucking kills his ass, and Hawkins gets back in the car and takes off with Allison and tries to bring her to her grandmother's house and just gets the fuck away from that scary bastard. And he follows the cop car there somehow, some way. And now you have a call back to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 with this head stomp into a jelly donut. All right, now I can stop bitching about Sartain because the motherfucker's gone. Now we have a lot of good shit to talk about. Because this third act, despite that Sartain twist and despite the very end, which I'll get to, is badass. So now I can stop bitching and we can talk about the cool shit again. Cody, how did you want it to end? I'll get to that when we get to the ending. Can you turn up the movie? No, I have it on silent for a reason, because YouTube will pick up the audio and they'll hit me with a copyright strike. So I have to listen to the audio through this. I wish there was a way where I could show the movie in the video and you could actually watch along, but there's just no legal way for me to do that. Remember when they said this movie would be bloodless? Did they say that? I never heard that. I can see how you have problems with the movie. Hopefully I'm showing, like, I know I'm harping on the negative stuff a lot, but it's because while I'm seeing it, it's easier for me to show every detail of why it aggravates me. But hopefully I'm showing that there is a lot about this movie that I really like too. Because that's one of the misconceptions that people have, is that I dislike this movie. And it's not that I dislike it. I do like the movie overall. It really disappoints me overall from what I thought the movie was going to be and what it ended up being. Because there's a lot of shit in here that, to me, is obvious issues. It's not like, 1 out of 10 people is going to harp on it. This is like brick in the face stupidity. Now you got fucking Ray playing with a yo-yo. God damn. And this is a funny thing too. See, this also reinforces what I'm talking about with, you could get rid of the character of Ray. and not only the movie, but the character of Karen will be better. So he's going off now to check out why these cops are out here. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie before, he's about to get fucking killed. No one gives a fuck. Karen and Allison and Lori do not give a fuck that this guy is outside. Nobody cares. Like, she's trying to keep Karen safe, and nobody cares that this motherfucker's outside. Nobody cares when he doesn't come back in. Nobody cares when Michael Myers is doing his thing, and nobody knows where Ray is. Now you get one of the most badass visuals in the movie, this head jack-o'-lantern. Like, Michael hollowed out this motherfucker's skull and put a flashlight in it. That is cool. That head jack-o'-lantern shit, that's one of the cooler things in this movie. It is very creative. Now you got Lori. She heard a gunshot. She's screaming for Ray. She doesn't hear Ray. She doesn't give a fuck about Ray. And now she sees Michael. Doesn't even care to look outside to see if maybe Ray is just sitting on the porch. She just locks the motherfucker outside. Now he's just telling Judy Greer to get her stupid ass downstairs. Get downstairs! By the way, I told your bitch ass he was coming. She doesn't ask where Ray's at. Doesn't ask if, Mom, have you seen Ray? Is Ray outside? Is Ray okay? Nobody reacts to Ray not being there. Now you have this great. She's got her back up against the door, which seems a little bit ignorant to me. If you think that Michael Myers is outside, why you would press yourself against glass, but it's a cool scene nonetheless. Where he gets the upper hand on her for a second, and then Lori fucks his shit up. There we go, Michael. You fucking with the wrong chick. I ain't fucking with you no more, bitch. Blows part of his hand off. I know she said, "Where's Ray?" But I'm saying if you're in a life-threatening situation like this and your husband of God knows how many years is missing, you don't know where's Ray is not enough. You would at least react to it. Not, where's Ray? And then no answer. Oh, fuck Ray. And just walk downstairs. So now we got the floodlights on. This third act is awesome. And here you got this line of dialogue here, which I don't remember, but where she's like, now that the shit has hit the fan, she's like, I was wrong for the way that I raised you, but at least I can protect you. Nothing will happen to you. That is a perfect setup for how the movie should have ended, with Laurie Strode making a self-sacrifice to keep her family safe. I'll get more into it when the ending gets there, but that was a perfect lead up right there. Just that line of dialogue puts that little nugget in your head that she is going to save her family at all costs. But now she just shoots at the fucking ceiling. They wanted to add stakes to the sequel. How does that add stakes? We'll get to it. We'll get to the ending. The way that he directs this third act is very tense because there's a lot of silence, and this really kind of reinforces that kind of supernatural aspect of Michael Myers because he could be anywhere. He could be anywhere in this house. He could be behind anything. He could be in the shadows. He could be behind her. He could be on top of her. You never know. There's a lot of callbacks with these closets too. I always thought they keep showing these little closets with these slats, which is like the scene in the original where she hides in the closet and he busts through and she stabs him with the hanger. Every time she went to a closet, I was waiting for Michael to be inside there and jump out at her. And they did a good job at making you think that. Here's something that's funny to me too. Again, this is a nitpick. Like some of these things I admit are nitpicks, but as you watch it for the third time, there's things that just don't quite make sense. So she clearly purposefully has her house very empty-ish. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of shit there. There's some couches for her to hang out on. We just had a whole room with nothing in it. Now she's in another room with absolutely nothing in it, just tables and a rug. And we're about to be in a scene where she goes upstairs and she goes into a room that's literally filled with all of these mannequins that she's been firing at and doing target practice with. If you're trying to make your house like this death trap for Michael Myers where he's coming for you eventually and your house is the place where this is going to happen, why would you have a room full with things that look like men in the shadows where it's easy to hide? I could stand next to a man and hide from your ass if I really wanted to. I didn't that detail. I think CP brought that detail up whenever we had a little spoiler discussion. I didn't think about it the first time that I saw it, but now that he's put that in my head, when I get to this scene, it is a little bit silly. It's like, well, damn, you kind of fucked yourself in this room. Obviously, he's going to hide in there. He's going to get the drop on your ass. Especially when they went far enough to make a couple of the rooms purposely be completely empty. Or at least have just shit on the walls where there's no hiding spots. If you're in the room, I'm going to see you, motherfucker. I'm going to walk in the doorway and there's no misconception if you're in there or you're not. Tina will be in the sequel. Don't you even speak that shit into existence, Horror Junkie 78. But yeah, this room here, she's got mannequins through the entire room with shadows and all kinds of places to hide, which makes for a great tense scene. Like I said, it's a nitpick. It's just a small little logic issue, but this is a very cool jump scare. Like when he's hiding behind this mannequin and he pops out, it's great. Because they have the whole tease with the closets here, especially with his blood dripping into the closet, almost like he knew that she was going to check there. It's a very well orchestrated jump scare. And again, every time that she went towards these closets, I kept thinking about that callback to the original. There's Ray. I don't know how he got his ass upstairs, why he even bothered bringing him upstairs, because he was dead on the lawn, and now Michael's fighting for his life, but he decided to take the time. Oh, I'll just take Ray and put him upstairs. Here we go. Shit's about to get crazy. How bad is Tina, Cody? Horrendous. Watch Halloween 5. Get back to me. Again, they do a great job at utilizing the silence. Like you can hear pin drop in these scenes, and at some point Michael's coming, and right here, boom, awesome. And Laurie ain't taking that shit. I forgot that he stabbed her. I wonder where that knife is at. She just, and this is one of my favorite scenes in the movie coming up here too. Like it's one of these callbacks. So he's looking. He's like, "All right, I got that bitch." And now he starts. Allison comes in. He hears her, turns back in to go think about going to get her ass. Then you get this awesome callback. Looks down, and she's gone, motherfucker. Awesome. That's like a jump up and cheer moment in the theater. Like, fuck you! And James Jude Courtney just nails Michael in this. He nails the mannerisms, the way that he walks, but he kind of just turns his head and fucking nails it. You wouldn't think it would be that hard to do, but goddamn if we haven't had a lot of people fuck it up. AJ Daniels comes in with a super chat. Thank you. Do you prefer Rachel or Lori? Lori, for sure. I think we've gotten too much Lori, but I definitely prefer Lori. Rachel's cool. It bothers me how they never mentioned how they caught him after the original. It bothers me too. It's not like the movie's fine without that explanation, but if you're going to have flashbacks of Karen's childhood, you can damn sure afford a quick little flashback of what happened after 1978. Like it does bug me. Because what happened, he leaves, and now you kind of fuck with the ending of the 1978 original a little bit, because it's supposed to be that he's gone. Now he's just kind of in the ether, that supernatural side. You hear his breathing everywhere in those final shots, but this movie just doesn't explain it. So she's fighting for her life. She's fighting for her daughter's life, and she has to see her rifle from her childhood to finally get the balls to do something about it. Up to this point, I still hated the character, but we're about to get a badass moment that the one moment that redeemed her character for me, where I was like, that's cool. And I was pissed in the theater at this point when she starts talking about, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was like, you fucking bitch, shoot him. Yeah, that I can't do it shit. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. That gotcha moment is awesome. Very fucking cool. Happy Halloween, Michael, and her coming out a little bit on the nose, but it's still very cool. But yeah, that gotcha moment where she was playing it, that shit was cool. I was like, all right, Karen. All right. All right. This is the moment here. Okay, so you get the two Strode girls coming out. You get Michael. He's grabbed Karen. He's not letting Karen out. Everybody is fighting, trying to get Michael off of her. You got Allison, you got Laura, you got Karen, all kicking Michael's ass, trying to get away. This is the moment where it would have been perfect to me, where it's not working. And Lori has to jump onto him to hold him in to this fucking basement and screams at them to just do it, close the motherfucker. It would have been hard for Halloween fans to stomach, but it would have been a ballsy ass ending, and it would have made this ending have a huge amount of stakes, a huge amount of weight, and it would have ended it with a fucking punch. All three Strode women surviving, I think, is a cop-out. I don't like it. The whole thing, the whole cage, and having the whole house rigged to burn and everything like that, that's very cool, very creative. But this line, it's at a cage, baby. It's a trap. But we get it. We don't need you to tell us, Karen. We have eyes. We can see what the jig is up. We get it. Ah, it was a cage. We don't need your corny ass delivery. But even though, like, I love the visual of Michael Myers staring up at them while the flames kind of engulf behind him, like, you motherfuckers. All right, I'll get you in the sequel. I like the visuals of that. But I'm telling you, this is supposed to be the final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. They build it as that for months leading up to this fucking movie coming out. If you read the back of the Blu-ray cover, it says that. If you read the description on Amazon before you buy the fucking digital copy, it says that. Final confrontation. It even says it on the little NECA figure that I bought. The final confrontation between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. But they end it in a place where there is no fucking possible way that this is going to be the final movie with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. You go through all of this effort to revitalize the franchise. You delete every sequel in the franchise and go back to the beginning. You go as far as to make them not siblings anymore, to create that openness to do whatever the fuck you want with Michael Myers. He doesn't have to be chasing a Strode anymore. He can go off and do anything. You have so much creative freedom now. And when they do this ending, they handcuff the franchise to Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode once again, because there is no possible way they can follow this movie with a sequel and not have Laurie Strode in it. That would piss people off and it would make no sense. You're going to tell me, pretend that they try to do that. And here we got the final scene, and then I'll rant a little bit more. But you have the final scene where she's holding the knife, which is just kind of like a passing of the torch kind of thing, where now she's the new victim, I guess. A lot of people thought that was like a hint that she was going to be the killer in the next movie, but so that's Halloween 2018, people. But getting back to what I was saying with the ending. So let's say, for example, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that they are going to do a sequel to Halloween 2018 in a couple years that's not going to have anything to do with Laurie Strode. This is Laurie Strode's final movie. That's her swan song. She got to defeat him, or at least so she thought. And then the next movie, he's going to be doing something else because he's not their siblings anymore. You're going to tell me, story-wise, logic-wise, that you're going to go through so much effort in this film to make it to where Michael Myers is her life obsession. It's everything that she thinks about, and every waking moment of the day is finally taking out Michael Myers. And she feels like she does it at the end of this movie. She feels victorious. But then in a sequel, Michael's out doing his shit again. He survived somehow. And you're going to tell me that that's not going to bring Laurie Strode back into the mix? Like, she would read a newspaper and just go, fuck it, I tried. It would make absolutely zero sense, and that would make the sequel be a piece of shit right off of the bat. That would be a Halloween 5 where they give the fucking middle finger to the ending in the story of 4, and they just go off and do their own thing. So I have it makes no sense to me why they would even try to do that. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what now they have to do, because they let all 3 of them live. They have to bring them back. So now when we get another Halloween, it has to at least feature Laurie Strode. And now you're going to have another movie with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. We have had Halloween, Halloween 2, H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and now Halloween 2018. That is 7 fucking movies of Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers. And yes, people say, oh, fans would have been mad if they killed Laurie Strode. Not if they did it in a way where it makes her feel victorious and it ends her on a victorious note, unlike what they did in Halloween Resurrection, where she ends in this piece of shit way. You give an ending like Halloween H2O where she's victorious, but she doesn't get out alive. She has to go down with them. To me, that would have made this movie end with a fucking punch. And just that alone, a ballsy ending like that would have went for it, that would have raised the bar for me. At least, I gave it a 3.4. That would have made it at least a 4 out of 5. Just that one element of that ending. Because that ending in theaters left me with huge blue balls. Because I watched it and I was just like, okay, so they trap them, they all live, and then it just ends like so suddenly. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, I walked out of the theater mad because of the ending. The ending left me on a very, very sour note. And to me, it just feels like a very sorry ass, cheap cop out way to end this movie. This movie could have been epic to me. And I know some people are happy with the ending, so maybe this is just for me, but you could have had, you could have had Karen do it, but I think to have the most punch, I really think that it would have been best to have Laurie Strode have to sacrifice herself, where she jumps into that basement, pins Michael down, and yells at Karen, "Do it. Lock us in. Do it. Run." And Karen has to struggle with it for a second, and then she fucking locks it in because her mother tells her to. Her mother was right because you did not listen to me for years, and now I have to save your ass, and I have to sacrifice myself to finally end this evil so that you may live and prevail and come back for the sequel. I'm not the writer of this film, but if it was me, that's what I would have done. So, yeah, that's my commentary on Halloween 2018, guys. Like I said, there's a lot of things about this movie that I really love, but there's these huge things in here that even after 3 watches, I hold strong in my opinion. This movie is not perfect. This movie has some major issues. I still hold strong where it is in my ranking. But it's a good movie. It's a definite good stepping off point for where they would like to go in the franchise. I am going to add it to my collection. It is a movie that like when I do a Halloween marathon, I will happily watch this movie. This is not going to be like a Halloween 5 or a Resurrection or something where I'm like, ugh, or even a Rob Zombie's Halloween where it's like, fuck this movie again. I do like the movie, but I'm telling you, there is things about it that they fucked up on. I'm glad some of you think this movie's brilliant, think it's the best thing since the 1978 movie. Some people even say that it's better. I'm glad you guys like it that much. I really am. Like I thought Lee was stoned or coming out of it with, huge high whenever he gave it the rating that he did. But, he's held strong. He's watched it a couple times. And I'm glad that some of you Halloween fanatics especially, have a movie that does it for you. And now we get Michael's breathing, which again, people say this is the last one. If they do it, they're just going to have to reboot it. Michael's breathing right there. If that tells you he's coming back. So, but yeah, I'm happy you guys love the movie. I do. I like it, but it just, those major issues are still there, guys. And it aggravates me. The things that I love about this movie, it's kind of the same effect that I have with Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one. The things that I love about that movie and this movie, every time I rewatch it, I like it and I appreciate it that much more. But the things that I don't like aggravate me even more. And it kind of balances itself out because the things that I like get better and the things that I hate bring it down, and it still meets in the middle. But this is not going to be a movie that I think I'm ever going to really change my opinion on. And that's not out of stubbornness. That's just out of it, legitimately, the things that I dislike, I feel like are founded. And the things that are going to aggravate me more every time I watch it. And, Brian Lomax even said, Brian Lomax gave this movie a more positive review than I did. And I think he had it rated as third best in the franchise, maybe fourth best. I don't know. But he liked it more than I did. But even he has said, like, the more that I talk about the movie, the more the distance I put between it, the more that I think about certain things. There's things that bring the movie down for me every time I talk about it. So it's just one of those movies, it's going to be a movie like H2O, where H2O came out and everybody seemed to love it. And then now here we are 20 years later, and you have just as many people that think that H2O is the shit as people that think that H2O is a piece of shit. So it's just one of those divisive movies, guys. But I hope we get a great sequel out of it. I just wish we didn't have to tether ourselves to Laurie Strode. Like that was one of the things that excited me about this film the most leading up to it, was all the things that they were saying in production about, I did a video. It's one of my most viewed videos on my channel where they announced that after they announced they were doing a new one and David Gordon Green and Danny McBride were doing it. And I was psyched because it was just a weird off the wall choice. They announced that Jamie Lee Curtis was coming back. And I did a video where I was not happy with that. I think I was the only person online that was not happy with it. And it's because I was like, dude, we've had Laurie Strode so many times. Why would you reboot it, get rid of the sister angle, and then turn around and bring her right back? But when they started talking about what they were going to do with getting rid of the sister angle, have it to where it's going to be a final confrontation, her swan song, she's finally going to have, this final confrontation with Michael Myers, I was like, okay, you're going to give her a redemption. You're going to make up for the fuck up you did in Halloween Resurrection. You're going to give us this badass, hopefully, conclusion to their story and wrap it up in a way where hopefully she feels victorious, but we obviously are going to get Michael carried on to further films. And then we can go and we can do all this creative freedom. We can take Myers wherever we want to take, because Laurie Strode is now no longer an issue because you don't have that family sibling angle. So that was one of the reasons when I got to the ending, I was like, you might as well have just made them sister or brother and sister again because it's exactly the same aesthetically. They still had to come to a confrontation, and now in the sequel, they're going to have to come to another one. So that's where I come from with all that, guys. But I'm going to stop bitching. Like I said, I had a lot of fun talking about this movie with you guys. It's I still hold strong. It's still a good movie. It's still a good Halloween sequel. I don't think that it's the best horror movie of the year. I don't think it's the best Halloween sequel since the original, but um, hopefully I gave all of you plenty of reasons why I fell on that 3.4 that I still hold strong with. So now it is 12:04. I will go until 12. I'll go to 12:30. We'll go till 12:30 and just take some questions. So I'll start. You can keep them Halloween related. You can keep them related to this movie, or you can just go off the wall and ask other questions. But go ahead and throw some questions out, guys, and I'll start taking some of those. Let me see. I had fun watching you. Thank you, Renegade Hero. I had fun being here. Shanti504 with a super chat. Hey, Cody, love your channel. Thank you so much. Don't Breathe or Hush. Don't Breathe. Hush was brilliant, but Don't Breathe was one of my favorite films that year. I love Fede Alvarez. Didn't get a chance to see his didn't get a chance to see his Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie. I heard it wasn't all that great, but yeah, I love Don't Breathe. Laurie Strode or Andy Barkley. I mean, I'm much more tied to the Child's Play franchise, but Laurie Strode is a better character. Can you please do a Strangers Pray at Night commentary? Probably not, guys. It would make sense to do that when it first came out, but it's been months since that movie came out now, so that wouldn't be maybe down the line, but that's not a movie that I really would enjoy doing a commentary for. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Do you like Alien Covenant? Not so much. I have yet to rewatch it since the theaters. I liked it a little bit more than Prometheus just because of some of the horror aspects to it, but that was a movie that just wasn't for me. How does the Child's Play reboot look to you at this moment? I think everything looks good of it so far. I've been actually frustrated at how much hate it's been getting with absolutely no information out there other than just them doing something different. They're taking a much different route. They're still going to have Chucky, but they're going to do a AI angle instead of a voodoo angle. They're going to have Andy have friends, so it's going to have like a Stranger Things, It kind of vibe to it. Everything that I've seen of it so far gives me reason to hope, not reason to hate. I saw a big question here. Lori Hackney, It 2, Trick or Treat 2, Glass, Pet Cemetery, Child's Play, Zombieland 2, Jekyll and Hyde, Mama 2, The Stand, Gremlins 3, Little Shop of Horrors are all reboots and sequels I'm looking forward to in 2019. I would check where you're getting that information from, Lori, because I have heard absolutely nothing about a Trick or Treat 2. I've heard absolutely nothing about Mama 2 or Gremlins 3. So I think that some of those might be one of those things that people post on Facebook where they create their own trailers and say, look at all these movies coming out. It 2 is definitely coming out. Glass is definitely coming out. Pet Cemetery, Child's Play, Zombieland 2, those are definitely coming out. The other ones I have not heard anything about. So especially Gremlins 3 and Trick or Treat 2. Those would be huge announcements if those were coming out. So those two especially, I wouldn't put too much trust in that. Uh-oh. Hi, baby. Uh-oh. The warden's awake. What's wrong, baby? Huh? Did you fall out the bed? Yeah. Why? Come on, let's go back to bed. I'll be right back, guys. Come here, baby. Oh, let's go back to bed. It's okay. Come on. It's okay. Oops. Sorry about that. Daddy duty calls. But yes, I would check the facts on some of those, Lori. I don't want you to be disappointed. All right, let me see. She's okay, guys. Like, yeah, when I say her bed is this far off the ground, so she just woke up. She's fine. She wakes up once or twice. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to cut this short, guys. She's coming out again, so I apologize, everybody. I know I said till 12:30. Come here, honey. It's okay. Thank you guys for watching. I gotta console her a little bit. She might have had a dream or something. Come here, baby. It's okay. You want to see? You want to say hi? Say hi? No, she ain't having it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I wish I would have done a little bit longer, but gotta take care of her. So everybody have a good night.